Very much, guys. Really appreciate it. All right. Well, now with a soothing serenade is our friend, the lovely Lindsey Stirling. And Lindsey's stopping by because she's got, I hear we have a little sneak preview coming up a little bit later in this interview, Linz. How's everything going?
Everything's great. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for coming by E3.
Yes, it's good to be back here.
I know, exciting times. You've done a little E3 over the years, and video game music for you, I know, has been a source of inspiration. I mean, I remember, the early days of YouTube, watching some of your amazing covers of video game music over the years. When you were growing up, I mean, how did game music affect you? I mean, did it inspire you? Is it stuff that you would just play on your own?
Yes, I mean, I've played the violin since I was 6 years old,
Yeah.
and I've, started playing video games around that same time, and I was a big, Mario fan. So the theme, da 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 da. I remember playing that on my violin as like a little kid. As soon as I started to learn to play by ear.
Yeah.
But the thing I love so much about game music and the way it's affected me as like an artist is I love that it's very much like storytelling. Like these songs are epic and they are these anthemic themes and. So for a violinist, it's like a palette of candy to get to play with that and make my own arrangements of it. And I love it.
And there's so much of it. That's you said. I love the games. The soundtracks. You said there's so much to pull from, and there's so much emotion from all those moments. When you started doing stuff on YouTube, I remember some of the early ones you were doing with these classic video games. It seemed like the audience really responded to sort of your interpretations of these game themes, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, also I love the cosplay of it.
Yeah.
So I'd get to feed the costume side of myself as I got to put on, little ears and be Link from Zelda and, bounce around the woods with a violin. It was just such a fun way. I guess that was really one of the big things that the world first saw from me.
Yeah.
Was, welcome world, here's Lindsey Stirling. Was
and Zelda, and exactly. I mean, when you were doing Skyrim, exactly. That was classic Lindsey Stirling, which is stands the test of time. But what I love is that your career has continued to evolve, and even though you love games and love doing those, you've done such amazing original music videos. And I got a sneak peek of the one we're going to show here, which just blows me away. And the ones you were doing last year, they're just so epic now. I mean, it's like you're on glaciers or you're just all over the place, which is amazing. So I mean, that gaming stuff is still part of your DNA, but it feels like for you, I mean, original composition and original music, that's a big part of what you're doing now, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for me, it's partly, it's so much fun to tell other people's stories and to interpret it in my own way. But taking that same inspiration and being like, well, what story does Lindsey Stirling want to tell?
Yeah.
And, I'm super excited. I have an album coming out later this fall to be announced soon.
Yes. Okay.
But, heard it here first. Album coming soon.
Awesome.
And it is very, very story-based. As I wrote the entire album, it's all themed around a concept and a story, and characters were a part of it in my mind. And I think all of that stems from, this coming up with video game culture.
That's so cool. Well, you said, and it's nice to hear you talk about that because so many artists now, it's like we're in such a single-driven culture in music where people don't even think about, the concept album, right? It's like once in a while we'll get those, but I love that, I mean, you're talking about this is a complete thought, this album with sort of a beginning, middle, end to it.
Absolutely. Wow. And that made it a lot of fun to write because it wasn't just what sound do I want to make on this song? It was no, this is kind of a missing gap in the story, or this is the emotion that hasn't been present yet for, these themes in my mind and these characters that I've kind of, started to develop.
That's so fascinating to me to hear you talk about that because I wonder, did you have the arc of the story that you wanted to tell and then you kind of wrote the music to fill that, or did the music sort of almost inspire what you wanted to tell?
That's such a good question. And the fun thing was it was both. I had a beginning, an end, and kind of a middle of the story. And then as I wrote the album, it's the music inspired extra elements of what I wanted to share. So they kind of fed each other. And it's been a really fun process to see how every style, because I like art, everything, like I said, from costuming to live shows to the music to the stories that I like to tell. And it's interesting how every part of that is all happening at the same time for me, and it's really feeding the whole project from every angle.
So track 3 has to be track 3, it can't be track 10, right? It's all
it's
ordered in the right way.
Yeah, for sure.
Part of the experience. Now, how does this all link into YouTube? Because you have an amazing YouTube channel. I mean, people, it's been such a part of your story too. So you have the album, but do you think of it as as Beyonce has the visual album, or it's how do you think of the videos that go alongside this? Is there going to be a mini movie, or how do you think of that, of the video component?
The video component for me, and this project in particular, is the video is they're all gonna be little mini vignettes. So it's not like it tells like a, A, B, C, D, like linear story, but it's very thematic. It's very, the themes are going to be represented through the different music videos until I think once you've seen all of it, it does end up telling kind of a cohesive emotion.
And then we got to get the Lindsey video game, right? Because it's like, it's so epic, right? It's
That's right.
Build it in Fortnite or something, right? It's
let's do it.
Well, so we talk about this, and what's cool is you got a little bit of a teaser. I'm even more interested now about how this puzzle piece fits into the bigger puzzle of the album.
Right.
But it sounds like you've got a new single coming very soon, right?
Yes. So in, less than 2 weeks, I can't believe it, on the 21st of June, we're dropping the single and the music video. It's the first original music I've released in a long time, and it's the first single from a new album. So.
And tell us, all right, so let's just take a look at it. This is a sneak preview of the music video and the song, world premiere from Lindsey. Very short little tease.
Yes, short, sorry.
But check it out. Here's a little look at what Lindsey's working on next. On YouTube?
Yeah,
yes, I was
it's
gonna
Sophie
say.
Dossie.
Yeah, Sophie. All right, sorry. I was just asking. Yeah, I was because I know she was at Creator Summit with you, and I was like, oh, she's so fascinating. So that's like, yeah.
She's fascinating to watch. It was so fun to do this music video with her and with several other performers as well.
Okay.
And as you see, I have a very specific look in the music video.
I love it.
And
it's
that's
just like...
one of the kind of characters that the whole project is themed around.
Okay.
So it's kind of been fun to, like I said, design characters and design a world.
And does this character appear in multiple sort of points throughout the album, or how many characters do we get?
She does.
You'll just have to wait digging and see. For like more information. And can you tell us the name of the track?
The track is called Underground.
Underground. Okay, so Underground will be coming out in a couple of weeks, and that ties into this larger story.
Yes.
Is this part of the beginning, middle, or the end?
This is the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the first track on the album.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
On the track listing, it's the first one, which felt appropriate to start the beginning of the story.
Oh, I think it's so cool that you've been so progressive in kind of using music and YouTube and videos come together, and the fact that this album is like all original from you, but is really such a creative exploit on so many different levels. I think it's like fascinating to see how it's all going to piece together.
I'm excited about it. It's been really flexing my creative muscles to do this in a way I've never done before, and I'm pretty happy with how it's all coming together.
It sounds amazing. When I saw the video, I'm like, wow, it's like such a cool look and like all the visuals and the lights and everything, and I can't wait to see the full thing. So full video in 2 weeks.
Yes, June 21st.
June 21st. All right, we'll check it out. Linz, great to see you, and hopefully we'll hear some Lindsey music and video games soon as well.
Yes, that would be awesome.
We'll make that happen. Some people at E3 that can probably help with that.